Somewhere deep in the forests of Manitoba, a man walked into the woods and came out claiming he had been burned by something not of this world. And to get there, I had to drive across one of Canada's most remote stretches of highway. This is the journey from Thunder Bay to the edge of the prairies. A drive through some of the most remote and mysterious landscapes in the country. Thunder Bay got its name through a unique vote. Before the city was formed, the area consisted of two rival towns, Fort William and Port Arthur. In a referendum, most voters chose either Lakehead or the Lakehead, but the split vote allowed Thunder Bay to win. Today, Thunder Bay has a population of around 133,000 and offers a relaxed, welcoming feel. Its downtown is great for a stroll, and on a nice day, the Marina Park footbridge leads towards a beautiful waterfront with views along Lake Superior. Before heading out of town, be sure to stop at a few local favorites. Grab a coffee at Robin's Donuts, which was founded here, and try the city's signature pastry, the Persian, a uniquely local treat with an unusual origin story. Cheers, Thunder Bay. You fed me well this morning. But time for this waterfall, so let's take off and go on to Kakabeka Falls. It's actually surprising just how many incredible sights surround Thunder Bay, from canyons to memorial sites to countless pockets of natural beauty, making this part of Canada a truly underrated destination. But the highlight might just be Kakabeka Falls itself, often called the Niagara of the North, and one of the largest waterfalls in Canada. In the deep forests of northern Ontario, along the road toward Kenora, stories have long been told by the Ojibwe of the Wendigo, a spirit said to appear during times of extreme hunger and isolation. Often described as gaunt, pale, and barely human, something that was once a person but has become something else entirely. A cannibal said to haunt these deep forests, preying on those who wander too far into the wilderness. The haze in the sky over Kenora that day was the result of massive forest fires burning across the region that summer. But a little haze didn't take away from the charm of this lakeside town. Set along the shores of Lake of the Woods, a place known for its world-class fishing, hunting, and relaxed, welcoming atmosphere. Established in 1882 and now home to around 15,000 people, the town was once known as Rat Portage before adopting the name Kenora in 1905. The downtown is small, but perfect for a quiet stroll. The next morning, as I prepared to leave Kenora, I made sure to stop by the iconic Husky the Muskie statue, something of a rite of passage for visitors passing through. But before heading out, there was one more thing I needed to pick up: bear spray. Because just a few hours from here, after crossing the border into my 7th province, the road leads deep into the wilderness. There's a beautiful ranch right here. So I pulled off the highway here because we're right out near the area called Falcon Lake, which is a town and pretty much a getaway spot for a lot of Manitobans that have cottages around here. But this spot is also a very interesting place because a UFO incident took place here several decades ago. So I'm gonna park the car soon. We're gonna get out and do some backcountry hiking, and I'll talk more about this special spot that we're headed to. On May 20th, 1967, a Winnipeg resident named Stefan Michalak made his way to this remote area of Manitoba in search of minerals. But what he found instead was something far more unusual. While exploring the area, he claimed to have encountered an unidentified flying object, one that, as he approached, emitted a blast of intense heat, leaving him disorientated and marked with a series of strange burns across his chest and abdomen. The event became known as the Falcon Lake Incident, widely considered one of Canada's most well-documented UFO cases. A bizarre and fascinating story about one man's close encounter with something perhaps not of this world. The site itself, just north of Falcon Lake, isn't easy to find, but after some careful digging online, I managed to track down the exact coordinates. And so, with the help of GPS on my phone and some trusty bear spray, I headed into the wilderness to find the exact spot where it all happened. It turned out to be a beautiful walk through pristine forest, although the thought of a bear nearby was always on my mind. And thankfully, no encounters this time, bear, alien, or otherwise. Is still there. Nice. Alright, off to Winnipeg with a couple stops in between. And near the UFO site, it also sits a ranch or a stables. Falcon Beach Riding Stables. You could also do horseback rides up to where I hiked today. So you have the options of doing it on your own or with a group, just hiking it up, or getting on some beautiful horses to do that. As I continued west from the UFO site, I made my way towards one of the most dramatic geographic transitions anywhere in Canada. Shortly after passing through a place called Paradise Valley, the landscape suddenly began to change, as the forested and rocky terrain of the Canadian Shield gave way to the vast and windswept Great Canadian Prairies. It was a surprising abrupt transition, and one that's difficult to fully appreciate until you witness it in person. Not far from there, I stopped at another important geographic landmark, the exact longitudinal center of Canada. Feeling pretty good, knowing I'd officially reached the halfway point of my journey across the country, I continued west towards my hometown of Winnipeg.
That's it! Back to Winnipeg!
Just before entering the city limits, I came across one of Manitoba's great engineering achievements, the Red River Floodway.
This is the Red River Floodway. So it was developed in 1968. So it took 6 years to build at a cost of $65 million.
The Red River Floodway is a massive engineering project championed by Manitoba Premier Duff Roblin in the 1960s. Before it was built, floods regularly devastated Winnipeg. Since then, this channel has diverted floodwaters around the city, protecting it for decades and saving billions in damage. Once criticized as Duff's Stitch, it is now considered one of the most successful flood control projects in the world. The Red River Floodway is widely credited with helping Winnipeg safely grow into a major city it is today. And it's a city I'm very excited to explore, but that adventure will have to wait for the next episode. If you enjoyed the journey and want to continue following along, drop a like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.